Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome for the lesson of today. I want us to go through some work here in social study. We have a paper here which was done somewhere. It's a Compass paper 006, and it's a good paper for the grade 7s and even the grade 8s who are ready for preparing for the KCP paper this year. So I want us to go through some questions here together. I'll guide learners on how to answer questions in social study for the grade 7s and the grade 8s as we prepare them for the final exams in the KCP in their respective years. The first questions in the social study, we have the map reading section, whereby a learner is requested to go through the map well. You analyze the map, interpret it well before you answer the question. And also, we advise learners that we should go through the map keenly. The first thing, you have to identify the elements of all the map. And in any map, we must have some elements. One of the elements is the title. This one gives you, you understand where the map was extracted from. So we have the title as one of the major element of the map. We have the compass, indicating directions in case you are being asked the question. We have the key, of course, down here. Also enables you to know what is in the map. It is a summary of what is entails in the map. Then we have a scale here. I've said 100% 2 kilometers. Then we have a frame. A frame is a margin. The frame, the one that makes learners to the map to look neat. It encloses what is in the map. So if we can start in the map, we have the river. We have River Ndiwo. River Ndiwo flows from northwest to southeast. The River Ndiwo has tributaries at the far end. The far end. These are the small channels, small rivers joining the big river. Then where they join, they form a confluence. This is a tributary. The major river forms a confluence here. As the river flows, this is what you call the course of the river. And at the mouth, the river forms an estuary. When a river ends in one channel, forms an estuary here. Then we have the Lake Pawe, which is the mouth of River Ndiwa. We have the road that connects, the tarmac road that connects the northern part of the map and the southern part of the map, the tarmac road. Then we have a small feeder road, which is a Maram road. In the map, we have the church, indicated the Seventh-day Adventist church. These are the Christians, the Saturday believers. These are Christians. We have shops. We have the CO somewhere here. We have the MCA. We have the PO. We have the H. Then we have the borehole in the region. We have what we call an airstrip, which means we might be having some tourism activities in the map. We have this is the national park, so we have tourism because we have the airstrip to transport tourists to the area. We have another sisal plantation at the northern part of the region. The sisal does well under the hot and dry climate. Then we have the town. Many times I've advised the learners that the towns grows because of the transport network. Mostly we can say transport network or road junction. Sometimes we have maybe mining activities, but mostly under map reading, the towns grows because of the transport activities, transport network, road network, or the road junction. We have two hospitals. We have this one here, and almost the central region of the map, and the southern part of the map also we have another hospital there. So we have the population. This is what you call clustered. See how they have settled. This is the population, clustered. Maybe if it was along roads, we could have said it is linear. Along roads is linear. This clustered is being influenced by economic activities in the region. So we might be having shops here. We have what you call another shops down here. We have a lake down here. Then we have what else again? The crops in the region, we have the sisal plantation, and we have what you call we have pyrethrum. Pyrethrum does well where the climate is cool and wet. We have red volcanic soil, good rainfall, reliable, high altitude. So the source of the river, you can see also the forest here, so which means this is the high area of the map, and it flows towards the southeastern part of the map where we have like power. We can go through the key. In the key, we have the forest. We saw it somewhere here, the forest in the map. So we have what you call the borehole. Wherever we see boreholes, it means that the climate is not good. The climate is not good where we also have boreholes, so which means we can't depend the rainwater. We have scraps. We have also scraps, yes, near the borehole, which means the climate here is hot and dry. The climate is hot and dry, and that's why we have the borehole and the scraps. Scraps is a vegetation that indicates dry conditions of a certain place. We have an airstrip somewhere here. We have what you call a sisal plantation, the northeastern part of the map. We have what you call the police post, the PO, the police post one is here, and the post office. We have the post office, the two post offices, which means the mode of communication or the main means of communication in Katolo area is through letters, because we have the postal services. Then we have the police station that ensures that we have enough security in the region. We have the permanent buildings, the members of the county assembly. We have the members here down here. These are a member of the county assembly. We have Pyrethrum, Hostel, Tamarket Road, Maram Road, Hearts, and we have the Seventh-day Adventist, the Christians. So the first question goes like this. What is the direction of the national park from the forest? Direction of the national park from the forest. You can see we have the national park here, and the forest is at this point. So when they apply the word from, we go from the forest, then we walk towards the national park. As for me, if I draw the compass direction at the middle east of the map, we have the northern part of the map, we have the western part of the map. So the forest, or direction of the national park from the forest, is from the northwest to southeast. So it is northwest to southeast. We have northwest here. The direction of the national park from the forest. So from the forest, national park, you go downwards the southeastern part, direction of the national park from the forest. Somebody comes from the forest, the northwestern side, to southeastern side. So the answer down here is southeastern side. What is the climate of the northeastern? The climate of the northeastern, this is the northeastern of the map. We have the sisal. Of course, the climate here is hot and dry. The climate that does well, that favors the growth of sisal as a crop, as a cash crop. The approximate length of the Maram Road, we had to measure either using a paper or a string. Then we come up what we get in terms of centimeters. We multiply by 2 because they have said 1 centimeter represents 2 kilometers. So I expect my learners to go into details and have these measurements. Use a string from this point here up to this point, then convert into what we call kilometers. Three of the following economic activities are carried out in Katola area, except, so we go through the map. Whether we have livestock keeping, we have what we call a cash crop, we have what we call tourism. In fact, we have tourism since we have what we call the national park. We have the national park. Then we have what we call, we cannot assume that we have lumbering, because of course we have the raw materials. I advocate for learners that you must see a sawmilling before confirming that we have lumbering in the region. So as per this question, livestock keeping, we have crop farming, we have SISO, and tourism, we have the national park. Lumbering, we cannot assume that we have lumbering in the region since we have the forest without the sawmilling. Then livestock keeping, we don't have in fact there is no cattle dip anywhere here. So this question was somehow contradicting. We can't call the animals in the park as livestock keeping because livestock, those are domestic animals. So the contradicting answers here, we had livestock keeping and the lumbering. We cannot assume that we have lumbering in the region. That's what we have advocated always, since we have the forest and we don't have the sawmilling. So I advise my learners to go with the issue of livestock keeping and what we call lumbering in the region. Then the Katola area is likely to be found in we have in fact, if you can see the map, we have pyrethrum, we have SISO, we have scraps. So the climate in the region, in fact, also we have the lake. This is a lowland area, but the climate is here is hot and dry since we have scraps here. The hot and dry climate, then we have pyrethrum at the far end. We give a general climate of the region that the climate of the region is of a lowland, or we can say the lowland area, because of the SISO and the scraps that we are having here. We have what we call the lake in the region. So that's how the map is. So we go for the lowland. Which of the following pairs of crops can also do well in the northwestern part? The northwestern part, boys and girls who are listening to me, we have pyrethrum. Pyrethrum goes hand in hand with the tea. We have also what we call coffee. But also you have to be very much careful because under tea, we are being told that the soil here should be slightly acidic. So pyrethrum, coffee, tea, the soil here is volcanic, of course, red volcanic soil. But for tea, somehow different. We have these characteristics that we say it is slightly acidic in the soil under tea. So the northwestern side, we can grow what we call tea, coffee, and the pyrethrum. Since the climate here, it is cool and wet because of the high altitude. So the question comes like this: which of one of the following pairs of crops can also be grown in the northwestern part of Katola area? This is the area that we are being told. So the northwestern side, we have pyrethrum. We can add tea. We can add also coffee. So we have tea, and the coffee as alternative crops that they can do well. The type of settlement in the region, we have the answers. We have scattered, we have linear, we have nucleated, we have clustered. We have this is the clustered kind of settlement, not scattered, because scattered they should be far away from one another, like the pastoral farming areas. The linear along the road. So we have the clustered as the answer to the question. We go to question number 8. They're asking what is a clan? A clan is these are members who share the common ancestor. They trace back their origin to the same forefathers. So people who are born almost the same time, people who are related by blood, yeah. If they ask you about the issue of born and initiated, we have answer C and answer B. When we combine the two, we get the meaning of the term age group. the age group, these are members who were born and initiated almost at the same time. But the age set now, it is made of more than 2 age groups. So an age set made of more than 2 age groups, and the age group, these are members who were born and also initiated almost at the same time. But the clan here, these are members who share the common ancestor. So people who are related by blood. When we share the common ancestor, the relationship between ourselves, it is through blood. So the answer here is B. The following factors affecting climate in Africa, which one is not? We have relief, of course. We have the nature of coastline. For example, now, when we go through Africa, the topography of African land is different. From the sea level, the plains, the lowland, the Rift Valley, the highlands. So relief, the height of a place in terms of altitude influences climate. The nature of coastline, like now in Africa, we have 2 countries. One is Somalia and Ghana, the coastal region of Ghana, especially the towns, the coastal region of Ghana and the Somaliland. The 2 countries in Africa are being affected because of the nature of coastline. The nature of coastline do influence climate. We have what we call prevailing winds that blows parallel to the coastal region of Somalia and Ghana. So the nature of coastline influences climate, relief influences climate, and the ocean currents. We have the cold currents, we have the warm currents. For example, now the cold currents, we have Canary currents that blows on the western side, the northwestern side of the African continent, this region. We have the Canary, they are cold. Then also we have Benguelu currents that they causes fog and the mist. So the ocean currents also can cause that they can influence the climate depending whether they are warm or they are cold. We have longitude. Longitude influences time of a place, not climate. So relief is affect climate, nature of coastline, ocean currents, and longitudes. Longitudes influences time of a place, so longitude is the answer. Does not influence climate of a place. Longitudes, boys and girls who are listening to me. We have this instrument. This instrument is known as anemometer. Anemometer measures what you call the speed of wind. The speed of wind. Anemometer, you can see how it looks like. We have the direction of wind. We can use the wind vane. Or we can use what you call the wind sock. The wind sock also measures the direction of wind. But also the wind sock measures what you call strength. So apart from the direction of wind sock also measures strength of wind. So the direction of wind, we have the wind vane. Atmospheric pressure, we have what you call a barometer. Barometer measures atmospheric pressure. At speed of wind, we have now the diagram that are being shown, and the strength of wind is what you call the wind sock. The wind sock that it measures the strength of wind. Wind sock. If we can proceed to the next page, we have question number 11 that asking learners to name some members of western part of Africa. And let us be very much careful because this question might be tested in an exam come the end of the year, both for grade 7s and grade 8s. They're asking about these members, the Bambara, Bonzo, Vai, and the Susu. I have given the formulas of these members. These are the Mande speakers from western part of Africa. So Mande speakers, we have the Soninke, we have the Susu, we have Bambara, we have Mandinga, Malinge. These are the Mande speakers from western part of Africa. The Kwa speakers, we have the formula, the voltaic also. The Kwa speakers, we have a certain song where we narrate in class. We have the voltaic, the Dagumo Befoe. Afro-Asiatic, we have the Hatu. So these are the Mande speakers. The Susu, Vai, Bozo, and the Bambara members. The next question talks about the issue of planted forest. And planted forest, we always plant what we call the softwood trees. Here we have the cypress as a softwood trees. A tree, The camphor, the Elgon teak, and the mahogany. These are the hardwood trees. So here we have what you call the cypress as a softwood tree. This question about time, the time in Beira 45 degree east is 12 p.m. What is the time? What will be the time in Libreville 15 degrees west? And this is what I advocate for Malanas to do. The first thing, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to draw what you call the longitudes. Remember, I said that the longitudes influences what you call time of a place. Then we have the 0 degrees at the mid-east. This is the prime meridian. Then we have the eastern side and the western side. Then now you can go to the question and read. The time in Beira 45 degree east is 12 p.m., which is 12 noon. So I will assume this is my 45 degree east. The time here is 12:00 p.m. What will be the time in Libreville 15 degree east? So I also assume that this is my 15 degrees west. West. So I advise learners that this question should not be missed. The first thing what you do here, we find the degree difference. We always see that when somebody is moving from east maybe to east, in terms of degrees we subtract, because these are like terms. When somebody is moving from west to west, like terms, we subtract also. West to east we add, east to west we add. So moving from the time here is 12 at longitude 45 degree east, and I'm trying to find time at 15 degrees west. So I'll draw a long arrow up to 15 degree west. Then I find the degree difference. We have said when somebody is moving from east to west, we add in terms of degrees. So here I have east and the west. So I have 45. So the degree difference is equals to, this is east to west. I'm going to add, so I'll be having 45 degrees plus 15 degrees. What I get here is 60 degrees. Then I say 1 degree is equals to 4 minutes. What about 60 degrees? How many minutes? So I'll cross multiply. I say we have 60 degrees times 4 minutes divided by 1 degree. This one goes. So I have 60 by 4. What I get here, it is 240 minutes. I want to convert into hours. Divided by 60 minutes. Cancel 6 minutes and the minutes. So 60 divided 1 into 240, it is 4 times. So I've converted. So I've gotten 4 hours, which is 240 minutes divided by 60. The answer here comes 4 hours. So I'll come here. I am moving towards the western side, and as we know, countries on the western side of the prime meridian, they are behind in terms of hours, and the countries ahead, flying towards the eastern side of the prime meridian in terms of hours, we are ahead. So I'm moving towards the western side, where we have said countries found on the western side of the prime meridian in terms of hours, they are behind. So I'm going to subtract 4 hours from 12 noon. So it is 2 p.m. I'll take away 4 hours from here. I'll land at 8:00. Remember, this one was p.m. So from 12 noon, you subtract only 1 second. You will be at a.m. So the answer here becomes 8:00 a.m. The answer is here. Yes, the answer is somewhere here. The answer is here, 8:00 a.m. Which one of the following developments in pastoral farming among the Maasai has improved quality of the cattle? We have the pastoral farming activities in Africa. We have the Fulani, we have the Tswana members, we have the Maasai of the East Africa, and we have what the government of those countries are doing to improve the quality of the animals and the standard of living. Remember one thing, boys and girls who are listening to me, The major reason why the governments of those countries where we have the pastoral farming communities, the major reason why they are conducting, they are bringing what you call development agendas in the pastoral farming areas, it is to improve the living standard of the pastoral farming members, the Maasai, the Fulani, and the Swana. And that's why the government is trying to improve the living. So if they come with the end development agenda, like now sinking of the boreholes, because we know in Africa, the pastoral farming are being affected by prolonged drought or scarcity of water. So the government do sink boreholes to provide water, or construction of dams to store water. We have the issue of crossbreeding, so that we can improve the quality of animals. What is being asked here, we must crossbreed those animals for us to get what you call the quality animals. We have what you call group ranches for them to minimize and control grazing. Building of boarding schools, at least for the pastoral farming learners to get education. And also the government has trained enough personnel in terms of veterinaries that comes or they have constructed the permanent houses or providing medical care for those animals. So the government has encouraged the pastoral farmers to train as a veterinary so that they can take care of their animals. So if we can answer this question, which one of the following developments in the pastoral farming areas among the Maasai has improved the quality of the cattle animals? In fact, it is crossbreeding. Crossbreeding, it is the major activity that the government is doing to improve the quality of those animals. Building of the boarding schools for the learners, introduction of cattle ranches, drilling of boreholes, construction of dams, veterinaries, all those are entailed and purposely to improve the living standard of the pastoral farming area. So the answer here for improving of the quality animals, it is crossbreeding, boys and girls. We have a diagram here. This diagram is it is being experienced in places of low altitude. Many times I advise my boys and girls in class to be very vigilant. Here we have this word known as land. Sometimes we use land or we use what we call the highland. So if it is land, if this one is land, then just know that it is near large water bodies. If they draw something like this, then the right highland, be very much careful. This name here gives you the direction. If it is land, these are convection rainfall, or yes, convection rainfall. If it is a highland, it is a relief rainfall, or we can call it orographic rainfall. So the question here comes like this. The above drainage feature represents the formation of the answers given. We have the land breeze, we have the orographic rainfall, convectional rainfall, and the sea breeze. If it is the sea breeze, I advise learners to monitor this arrow down here, from where to where it comes from land to sea. So this is the sea breeze. The land breeze, I mean, because this arrow comes from the land to the sea. This is the land breeze. And if it is the sea breeze, this arrow must come from sea to land. And they might ask you a simple question: when do we experience the sea breeze? At what time of the day, or the land breeze? I gave my learner a formula here. Seda Lani. The sea breeze during the day and the land breeze during the night. So this is the land breeze because this arrow is coming from the land. So if it is the land breeze, this one occurs during the night. Remember this formula, boys and girls. Sedalani, sea breeze during the day, land breeze during the night. So these are land breeze occurs during the night, and so this is a land breeze occurs during the night. And if it was orographic, of course we must see something like clouds here, a highland right in the highlands, the rain is raining here. Which of the following towns of East Africa is not likely to experience the above feature? when you go to Kampala, you come to Mombasa, you come to Kilifi, Dar es Salaam, the three towns, the Mombasa in Kenya, Kilifi in Kenya, the coastal towns of Kenya, and these are Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. These are towns near the Indian Ocean, near the ocean. So Kampala is constructed on 7 hills. In Uganda, we call them the Imbala Hills. So Kampala is found on a high area. Mombasa, Kilifi, and Dar es Salaam found on a lowland. These are the regions where we experience this kind of breezes. These are the land breeze, because this arrow is coming from the land. If it is a sea breeze, it must come from the sea to land. So this region is near large water bodies, and the Kampala is a highland because it was constructed on the 7 hills known as the Imbala Hills. So Mombasa, Kilifi, Dar es Salaam. Yes, the question was, which one of the foreign towns of East Africa is not likely to experience the above feature? It is Kampala in Uganda. The next question here, which one of the following regions of East Africa is sparsely populated? Question number 17, we have Lake Victoria Basin, highly populated because of the climate. The climate is hot and wet. We do experience convection rainfall. The soils around the Lake Victoria Basin is very fertile, so we have farming activities here. The Lake Basin is highly populated. Nile Valley, the same, it is congested, highly densely populated because of availability of water for irrigation and farming, also highly populated. The central part of Ethiopia, we have the Ethiopian highlands. The climate is cool and wet. And most people in Africa, we like settling where the climate is good, especially cool and wet climate, where we can do farming. Lambwe Valley in Kenya, this region is very hostile. We have this insect known as the tsetse flies that transmits nagana to human beings, and we have sleeping sickness to human beings and nagana to animals. So Lambwe Valley in Kenya, we have Lambwe Valley in Kenya and the Miombo Woodland in Tanzania. They have the same feature of tsetse flies. Lambwe Valley in Kenya and the Miombo Woodland. The place has hostile. It is hostile because of those insects. The question number next here is saying that the foreign conditions for growing of a certain crop, a plenty of rainfall of between 1500 millimeters and 2000 millimeters, high temperatures of between 27 and 30 degrees Celsius, deep, well-drained fertile soil, and high humidity. When you go through these requirements, in fact, every was pyrethrum does well where the climate is, the temperatures are very cool, not high. That means this crop does well where we have the low altitude. Bananas, we could be having what we call props. These are some trees that that supports the bananas. So which crop does well where we have the rainfall is between 1500 millimeters to 2000, deep, well drained fertile soil, and high humidity? We have the cocoa as a crop. That does well on such kind of the conditions. The last question for today: which one of the following was not a cause of migration of communities into East Africa? Among the Bantus, we know very well Bantus came from the central region of Africa, from the Congo Basin or the Congo-Cameroon Basin. The Bantus migrated because of overpopulation. They never came because of such of land, but of course it's one of the reasons that made them to migrate. But if it were not the population increase in the region, they could have not shifted from the Congo Basin. So the question, which one of that was not a cause? Search for grazing land. Bantus were not pastoral farmers. This pastoral farming, we acquired it from the Kushites. The Kushites were pastoral farmers. Bantus were purely farmers. So attacked by hostile neighboring communities. Of course, this one was among the reasons why They came searching for land, and overpopulation, the major one. This was the major one. Of course, we had a fertile land and hostility. Grazing land, this one belongs to what you call the Kushites and the Nilotes. The last question is about the leading coffee growing region in Ethiopia. We have Kenana in Sudan. Kenana, we have sugarcane growing under irrigation. And of course, we get water from Atibara and the Blue Nile, the tributaries of River Nile. And the Kakira, we have the Kava and the Haral. The Kava province and Haral, these are the regions in Ethiopia well known due to coffee growing. So because of time, we have to wind up the lesson of today. This is question number 20. So we have answered the 20 questions. Boys and girls, social study needs a lot of time. It is a forest. We must create what we call a positive attitude towards the subject so that we can perform very well. We must be well prepared, especially the grade 7s and the grade 8s who are planning to see their exams in the next 3 months for the grade 8s and the next 1 year for the grade 7s. I wish you well as you continue doing enough revision for this whole day as you are at home. I wish you well. We are going to meet it later again so that we proceed from question number 21 all the way to question number 60. Tomorrow, God willing, the same channel. My name is Mr. Malaki. I'm a teacher, registered, authorized by the TSC to do what I'm doing, to handle learners online, can be under the classroom environment, to guide them learners on how to do this work in social study. I wish you well, my learners. Let us meet tomorrow again as we proceed from question number 21 downwards. Thank you very much. May God bless you.